So, how are you guys holding up through this gas price crisis? It's getting ridiculous now, right? I mean, places in California now are reaching above $10. Where I am, average cost is almost $6 right now. I mean, it's getting quite ridiculous. So, a lot of people have been wondering what they could actually enjoy, but also at the same time get, good enough gas mileage where they don't have to feel like they're getting ripped off at the gas station, or they're spending their whole week's worth of paycheck on just filling up their cars. So I wanted to make this video and kind of go over the different types of sports cars out there right now that actually get pretty good gas mileage. All right, let's get started. Okay, so first things first, make sure you click that like, subscribe, and the notification bell that we are notified every time I put up a new video. For today's list, I've actually tried to condense the list as much as possible by going on EPA's website and figuring out what cars get more than 30 miles per gallon combined. So that's city and highway combined. So there's a lot of cars out there that get pretty good gas mileage on the highway that's over 30, but get terrible mileage on the city that makes their combined MPGs lower than 30. So I weeded those out. That way our list is not 30 cars long. Um, but all the cars that I'm going to list today are going to be getting a combined 30 miles per gallon or better, and they will be very fun to drive cars for what you're getting. All right, let's get started. First car on the list is 2019 and up Mini Cooper S, and this gets 30 miles per gallon combined. The city and highway combined together gets 30 miles per gallon. You could find examples of this on cars.com between $17,000 to $38,000, depending on, how used the car is and how newer the car is. Obviously, you would end up paying a little bit more. 0 to 60 time of 6.2 seconds. It's rated at 189 horsepower, 207 foot-pounds of torque, and it is a 2.0 liter turbocharged engine, front-wheel drive layout. The plus side to these turbocharged engines is all it really needs is an ECU tune for you to pick up another half a second of 0 to 60 and pick up another, 40, 50 more horsepower with just an ECU flash. So not only is it fun out of the box, but it could definitely get even more fun once you tune and once you start putting more personal touches to the vehicle. All right. Next on the list is a 2019 Honda Civic Si. This also gets 30 miles per gallon. So an example of this can be found anywhere from 17,000 to about 45,000. Obviously, you don't want to go out and pay $45,000 for this car. You'll be able to find a good example for around 17 to about 25,000. And these run 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds, rated at 205 horsepower, 192 foot-pounds of torque. It is surprisingly a very small engine. It's a 1.5 liter turbo front-wheel drive. So it comes with the Honda pedigree. It's a Honda Civic. It's been around forever. It's been around as long as I can remember. And the aftermarket is ridiculously huge on these Honda Civics. So if you're looking for a car that you can have fun with, that you can modify, you can personalize, you cannot go wrong with the Honda Civic Si. Let's move on to the third one on the list. The third one on the list almost, seems like a repeat of what I said before, but it is a 2019 Hyundai Veloster Turbo. Also gets 30 miles per gallon. However, there is a catch. The auto gets 30 miles per gallon. The manual actually gets 29 miles per gallon. So it barely made the list because of the auto variant. You can find examples of this anywhere from $19,991 to $30,000 or so. 0 to 60 time, depending on which transmission you have, could be anywhere from 5.9 to 6.2 seconds, which makes it the fastest car out of the three that I've listed so far. It's rated at 201 horsepower, 195 foot-pounds of torque. It is a 1.6 liter turbo front-wheel drive. And again, everything that applies to the cars beforehand applies to this. You can tune it and pick up quite a bit of horsepower and start throwing aftermarket parts at it to have fun with it. Now, next car, number 4. This is where we start really getting into the sports car category from sport compact category of the 3 cars ahead. Okay. This one is the 2019 Mazda MX-5 slash Miata. So Mazda Miatas get 30 miles per gallon on the automatic transmissions, gets 29 miles per gallon on the manual transmissions. You could find a good example of this from anywhere from 24,000 to about mid $40,000 range. Again, depending on the condition of the vehicle, depending on the mileage and such things like that. 0 to 60 times of 5.7 seconds. So if you're looking at the past 4 cars I listed, this is the fastest car out of all 4 of them in 0 to 60. But it is only rated at 181 horsepower and 151 foot-pounds of torque. It is also a 2.0 liter NA engine, and it is rear-wheel drive. Now, why does this car get such better 0 to 60 foot compared to the cars ahead? Because it is rear-wheel drive. Rear-wheel drive, when you launch the car, puts the weight on the rear tires and lets you launch a lot easier and faster than front-wheel drive cars. And also, Mazda Miata, I mean, if you ask anybody that's in the sports car world, they'll tell you hands down it is the best car for the money when it comes to sports cars. So there's no question that this car makes the list. Now, I want to move on into a more hybrid type of environment. The reason being, hybrid is honestly the next wave of performance cars. We're going to start seeing a lot of cars, even in the lower price tiers, get hybrid technologies put into them, not only for the MPG part of it, but because when you combine electric with an internal combustion engine, it can make up for the lack of torque, lack of instant power on the internal combustion with the electric. And also, the internal combustions can make up for the lack of top end on an electric engine. So it becomes the best of both worlds when you put it together. So the next one on my list is the Lexus LC 500H. The H obviously stands for hybrid. Now, this car wasn't really meant to give you good gas mileage. It was really more of a show-off car from Lexus to show you we can build hybrid sports cars as well. So this gets 30 miles per gallon combined city and highway. You can find one for around 74,000 all the way up to 112,000. 0 to 60 time of 4.8 seconds, which is very, very decent. 354 horsepower, 369 foot-pounds of torque. It is a 3.5 liter V6 hybrid, and it is also rear-wheel drive, making it a very, 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 very fun sports car slash car that looks like a concept car that just rolled off the showroom floor. Next car is one of my favorite cars when it comes to plug-in hybrids. So, plug-in hybrid, PHEV. What's this stand for? Plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, meaning the car can actually have full-time electric drive modes. Okay, that's where PHEVs come in. It's a little bit different than regular hybrids, where you can't drive just purely on electric. Okay, so BMW i8, when you're driving in hybrid mode, gets up to 69 miles per gallon. If you're just driving in pure sport mode where you're having fun, your engine is always on, you're going to get 27 miles per gallon. But in pure electric mode, you can get a range of up to 18 miles. 18 miles. So if you're actually driving to work that's less than 9 miles away, you technically never have to turn on your gas engine, because when you come home, you're still going to have a couple miles left. You just plug into the wall, and the next morning, you use the electric motor again instead of using the gas. All right, so this one is, you can find one around 60,000 all the way up to 155,000. If you're looking to get one of these, I would definitely recommend go for a used one around $60,000, $70,000, because that has already hit the bottom of the depreciation curve, and you won't be losing a lot of money on it when it comes time for you to sell it again. So 0 to 60 on this is an impressive 4.2 seconds. 369 horsepower, 420 foot-pounds of torque. It is a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine plus a hybrid, making it an all-wheel drive vehicle. Next one, Karma Revero GT. So if you have not heard of Karma before, maybe you've heard of a company called Fisker. So Fisker was a company that was going to go up against Tesla, but it didn't survive financially and ended up being sold to a Chinese company. Now it's renamed the brand as Karma, and it has come out with Karma Revero GT. Karma Revero GT gets 70 miles per gallon hybrid, 26 miles per gallon when you're using the engine full time, and it also gets 80 miles. That's 80 miles on pure electric. 0 to 60 time of 3.9 seconds, 536 horsepower, 550 foot-pounds of torque, 1.5 liter turbo sourced from GM, plus a hybrid engine, and makes it a rear-wheel drive as well. Now, this car, you can find a good example from anywhere from $62,000 to about $90,000. When it comes to purchasing the car, this car hasn't been around long enough to actually have a reliability score of any kind. So you are kind of early adapting to the car, so you do have a risk of that. But on paper, this looks to be one of the best cars to buy, especially for the price, the performance you get out of it. Not only 0 to 60 performance, but the fact that you can get 80 miles on pure electric is huge. All right. Last one on the list. This is my favorite car, period, on this list. It is the 2018 and up Porsche Panamera e-hybrid. Okay, so Porsche Panamera e-hybrid, before I get into it too far, I want to tell you that there are two different types of Porsche Panamera e-hybrids that you need to look into. So there's a Porsche Panamera 4 e-hybrid, and then there's a Porsche Panamera Turbo S e-hybrid. They're both pretty quick. They both get great gas mileage. So let me show you the specs. Porsche Panamera 4 e-hybrid gets 51 miles per gallon hybrid, 23 miles per gallon when the engine is on full time, and also gets up to 31 miles of electric range. Turbo S gets 48 miles per gallon hybrid, 20 miles per gallon when the engine is on full time, and 17 miles of electric range. You can find either one for anywhere from $75,000 all the way up to $240,000 on cars.com as of today. Which one you choose, totally up to you and your budget, but let me show you the specs. So 0 to 60 time on a Porsche Panamera 4 e-hybrid is 4.4 seconds with 457 horsepower, 516 foot-pounds of torque, coming off of a 2.9 twin-turbo hybrid engine, and also boasts an all-wheel drivetrain. So you can drive this year-round and blow the doors off a lot of cars on the road and still save a lot of money on gas. Now, if that's not fast enough for you, you can always opt for the Turbo S model. The Turbo S model does 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Holy cow, that's a supercar, right? Now, with that, it makes 680 horsepower, 567 foot-pounds of torque, 4.0 liter V8 twin-turbo hybrid, all-wheel drive. So that car pretty much is the fastest car on my list right now, but it is also the most expensive car on the list. So I'm sure it's out of the budget for a lot of people, including myself, but it is kind of cool to look at. It is kind of cool to talk about. All right. So with that said, I hope this list kind of gives you a refresher on what kind of cars are out there that you can still drive, have fun, and be easy on the pocket when it comes to the gas pump. All right. So if you haven't done so yet, please click that like button. And if you haven't clicked it yet, please click the subscribe button. All right. So every like will help the algorithm work its way and get our channel out there, and makes me push myself to bring you more videos. All right. So I will see you on the next one, and I appreciate you being here.